Now that you have a child, do you take back your picky eater hate? Oh, you mean now that I have a literal toddler, do I have more sympathy for adults who only eat pepperoni pizza with mayonnaise spread on top of it? I'll let you read between the lines on that one. The real answer is that it's complicated. As long as we're doing, you know, VH1 behind the takes here, all of my negativity towards picky eaters stems from one very simple question. Are you a picky eater because you don't like the food or because you think you won't like the food? Because having been a picky eater myself, there is a distinction. And if you find yourself saying, why does it matter? Personally, that's your fucking problem, okay? I don't know why it matters, but why won't you answer the question? If you genuinely, like if we go out to eat and you're like, oh, I've never had artichokes before, and then I go, oh, here, have one of these artichoke hearts. Like, you might as well give it a try if you've never had it. If you go, or you give me like an interrogation, like, before I place this food in my mouth and immediately within 0.01 seconds, my brain gives me an appraisal of its taste. Could you write an essay on its mouthfeel and its flavor? And is the texture a little squishy or is it a little slimy? And if you're open to eating foods and then you don't like them when you eat them, I don't have a problem with you. I have some pity for you, I suppose. But if you're like, I'm a picky eater and just bizarrely for whatever reason, like there's a lot of foods that I just simply will not eat because I think I wouldn't like them, but I will not try them, then I meet that with the slightest bit of judgment. Not derision, just judgment. But I don't know, every time you talk about picky eating, it always becomes some argument about like freedom or something like that. Why can't I'm a grown adult. Why can't I eat a dinosaur chicken nugget for every meal if I want to? Well, you can, but like it's like freedom of speech, right? Like, freedom of eating doesn't give you freedom of, like, not being made fun of or whatever. Plus, it's like, I see you online. People that eat chicken tenders for, like, every single meal will be like, don't make fun of me. I'm a picky eater. It's a texture thing. But then, meanwhile, they'll make, like, 1,000 jokes about veganism. How do you know somebody's a vegan? Oh, don't worry. They'll tell you. So, you know, I mean, admittedly, this is the strawest straw man that's ever existed. I'm just asking you to hold yourself to the same standards that you hold other people to. I make fun of a lot of stuff, but I'm not above making fun of myself. I mean, all that diarrhea talk, for example, I want you to know I'm down in the muck with you. It's a +2 conveyor belt. You can be a picky eater if you want. It's fine. Like, it actually doesn't matter. But if I'm out with you at, you know, why would I come in here? What am I thinking, man? I don't want to. Just give me the angel deals. I say no. I say no to that. Like, I really don't care if you're a picky eater. But, like, again, I think there's noble pickiness, which is I'll try anything. I just happen to dislike a lot of foods for whatever reason. That's fine. And that, like, there's not noble picky eaters, which are, like, I'm scared of a little negative taste in my mouth. That's where I'm like, you gotta at least give it a try. And again, it comes from a place of understanding. Because I was an insane picky eater before I went to college. I didn't like to eat soup because I was like, every food I eat is a solid. Now I'm going to start introducing liquids into my diet. Oh, what's next? Maybe I'll start huffing some gas-based foods or something like that. I didn't eat rice, mostly because I just thought it was annoying. Like, now I gotta, you know, I could just be having some French fries. You, like, pick one up with your fingers and you're good to go. But this rice is, like, so much effort to eat and stuff like that. And then in university, you know, you get to the dining hall and you realize, like, if you want to be a picky eater, that's fine. Just prepare to destroy your body, because like the only foods that are available to you for you to eat that would fulfill this insane criteria are like pizza and chicken fingers, and you're gonna have like a heart attack in your 30s. So instead, I said, you know what? Let's start embracing the idea of you know, eating some foods that are a little out of my comfort zone. And wouldn't you know, it turns out all these foods that I had a preconceived notion that I wouldn't like because they were different than the shit that I started eating when I was 2 are actually like pretty tasty. And I was actually just like unnecessarily limiting myself by being like, you know, oh, I don't think I would like onion. I mean, look at it. So that's why I have that, not disdain, but like I feel like it's a big brother sort of influence where I'm like, maybe you're not in that camp. Maybe you're not someone who's afraid to try new foods and you're just picky because you don't like the way they taste for whatever reason. That's fine, as long as, in my opinion, you're actually tasting them. But again, it's your life, you know? If you want to become the president and then treat the Golden State Warriors to 40 McDonald's hamburgers and chicken nuggets when they come visit you, then, you know, don't let me stop you. You're a big boy. You're mommy's special lad. By all means. Just saying, there's a whole world out there that you might be limiting yourself from experiencing for a reason that I consider less, I mean, self-limiting. Just self-limiting. This is the least hypocritical take after you ate cat shit. My man will literally try anything once. That's what I'm saying. That's what I've been saying. Don't say this. Someone said I'm a picky eater because I'm broke and I can't afford to eat foods I don't like. What if being a picky eater has led you to only consuming frozen pizzas, which are like $9 a serving, though? And if you try to, you know, some beans and some chickpeas and some lentils and some brown rice, you know, you could be saving 30% on your margins every single week. Don't just put "I'm broke" in parentheses as like the Dr. Manhattan vapor trump card. We gotta evaluate this on its own merits. Chad, I don't live in the Midwest, okay? Frozen pizzas are expensive here. People are like out of touch, but they're saying I'm out of touch. It's you who's out of touch. You're out of touch with Vancouver. Now, maybe Vancouver itself is out of touch with Canton, Ohio. I don't know. I've never been to the Baseball Hall of Fame. But I'm telling you, if you go to the grocery stores within the city proper, those are the numbers you're going to see. So don't tell me I'm out of touch. South Cincinnati, lol. Anyway, that's my thoughts on picky eaters. At the end of the day, it is also like it's your life. I'm just saying, like I'm thankful that I'm past the point of my life now where like I will roll in a group of like 8 adults. Nothing gives me more anxiety than seeing a group of like 10 adults walking on the sidewalk and knowing they're trying to choose what restaurant they're gonna have to go to for dinner. Like 2 of them are gluten-free, 1 of them's vegan, 1 of them, the only vegetable they'll eat is like potato and carrot, and then somebody's like, I don't care what it is as long as the entire cost for the dinner is like $4 or less. Just, man, that brings me right back. Adult picky eaters definitely, they do exist for sure. Potato and carrot guy is a Giga Chad. You can't just say the guy he represents what you believe is a Giga Chad. Although I guess that's the way the meme is typically used. My cousin's husband is 31 and only eats mac and cheese and chicken nuggets. You know what though? That's kind of like I wish you would take that story back. Because people should not labor under the pretense that they're gonna maintain that diet and find a spouse. That's something we can't fill people with false hope like that. Based. It's not, dude, honestly, I don't know. I'm on my hater arc, as I've said. I don't think it's based to just eat mac and cheese and chicken nuggets as a 31-year-old man. The dream is not to never grow up. I think the dream is to maintain the positives of youth while also acknowledging that there are positive things about getting older. Like, most of the reason that people like eat differently in their 40s than they do in their 20s is because if they ate in their 20s like they ate in their 40s, their body would like fall apart and rot. This is not based to just be like, I'm destroying myself just to eat fried chicken morsels. Like, that's what's based is fueling your body with whatever you need, both mentally and physically, to, you know, continue fulfilling the processes of life in a comfortable way, you know, so you could be there for your family and so you could, you know, have some respect for yourself and stuff like that. Like that's cringe. Well, like, you know what? I guess I'm cringe then. I'll take that. I'll be cringe. I'm not saying you gotta eat exclusively, you know, soylent for every meal. I'm just saying not exclusively chicken nuggets and mac and cheese. Because, like, what do you do, like, when you go, so you go out, it's date night with your wife. You have to go to a restaurant where you eat, either they have chicken nuggets or mac and cheese on the menu? That's really limiting your options, man. Like, you're only going to, like, pubs and fast food restaurants? No, I'm not taking this. I refuse. I thought about it, and then I backed off. Every place has a kids menu? No, they don't, though. There's a lot of restaurants you might go for like a date night do not have a kids menu. Also, you can't think about your wife. She's going out for dinner with somebody. It's the man she's gonna have a child with. She orders, oh, you know what? Let me get the Blanco Tagliatelle. That sounds good. And you know what? I will pay a little extra for the squid ink. And what kind of wine pairing would you recommend for that? Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, I'll take a 6-ounce glass of that. And then the man you're going to spend the rest of your life with says, can I get 1 portion of mac and cheese off the kids menu and 1 portion of chicken nuggets off the kids menu? She's got to go home and look herself in the mirror after that, man. Like, you could meet her halfway and make her life a little easier, I think. Based. And then he's like, what wine pairing goes well with that? Okay. Why do you care so much? It's just funny. I mean, it's not... I guess the real answer is, I don't know. I guess I care because it's kind of noteworthy to meet a man my age who only eats chicken nuggets and mac and cheese. Like, that's very atypical. Honestly, fuck the question, why do you care so much? They would do like a whole episode on TLC about that. That's why I care, because it's noteworthy. A Syrah would pair nicely with that. What's the soup du jour? It's the soup of the day. That sounds delicious. I'll have that. Again, you know, you can live your life. Don't get me wrong. But you gotta... I mean, look, okay, I walk on my toes, and I'm bald, and I went bald when I was 19. I weathered the storm of being bantered with. Because that's not typical. You don't meet a lot of college students in undergrad who are, like, legally not able to drink yet, but have already lost all of their hair. And also walk like a weirdo. At no point did I go, why do you care so much that I'm bald? I recognize that, you know, the banter is part of the lifeblood of modern communication. You know, it's a playground that you can bandy about it. You can learn something about the people. You can learn something about yourself. And if you can't make fun of yourself, then honestly, I think you got some growing up to do. If you're a 31-year-old man, I mean, you better be able to make fun of yourself, because if you go out for like a business dinner with your boss or something like that, and he takes you to Dorsia, and you gotta ask the waiter if they've got mac and cheese or chicken nuggets on the menu, I mean, you're gonna have to defend yourself with some humor. You might as well practice here in Twitch chat, where it's a safe space. Am I safe from the banter because I'm only 26? I mean, I think there's still time. My advice, if you're a picky eater, I would honestly, like, here's what I would say, okay? There's a reason that there's, like, so many different kinds of restaurants out there. Just, like, once a week, eat a meal that goes off the beaten path. If you only eat, like, mac and cheese and chicken nuggets, try some Chinese food. It's not weird, I promise you. You know, go eat some Korean barbecue. Like, it's literally just meat. Try something. You don't have to, like, immediately go out there and start eating the maggot cheese or anything like that. But just, like, once a week, try something that's slightly out of your comfort zone. Just slightly. Eat, like, a spinach or something like that. And it's one of those things that I think will be what's the word I'm looking for? It's like a positive feedback loop. You will probably try something new and be like, wow, that's good, which will make you want to try more new stuff in the future. You overestimate my economic situation? Okay, instead of making air fryer chicken nuggets, start making like some, you know, make a bean chili or something like that, okay? Whatever, if you're only eating mac and cheese and chicken nuggets, you could definitely lower your budget on food. I don't know why people are trying this, like, false dilemma here that's like, I don't have money, so the only thing I can afford to eat is frozen chicken nuggets. Like, you can get cheaper than that, man. That kind of disingenuous take is not going to fly with the grocery king. I've seen the prices of the frozen foods at the grocery store. New guy just dropped. Guy who only eats mac and cheese and chicken nuggets, and when he orders DoorDash, orders chicken nuggets. I don't really want to cook chicken nuggets tonight, honey. Do you think we could just order some chicken nuggets? Anyway. So that's, if that's the take you agree, or that's the question I guess you had for me. Do I feel differently about picky eaters? I don't know. It depends on why they're picky eaters, you know? Some people, I think, it's unavoidable. It's baked in. There's only specific textures that they can actually enjoy, and no amount of exposure therapy is gonna like change that for them. But then some people, I think, they're just kind of like grossed out by the idea of like a red pepper, and then just decided to never challenge that assertion. I don't know what the difference is between them. You know, I don't know what the proportion is. I'm just, I was in the latter category, so I know that the latter category definitely exists. I'm a picky eater, yet I eat ass. Explain? Well, that's what's like so messed up, right? Is that chat, on the one hand, like there's people in chat who are like, this is a bad take. Like, I only want to eat the things that I want to eat. Why should I ever do anything else? They're the like most picky eaters of all time. But then they also have like the most insane fetishes. Fucking, oh, don't you love it when a big titty goth GF pulls out a gun and fucking kills you? They say shit like that. Oh, I love when a little gremlin girl pulls out a knife and fucking cuts my legs off, you know? And I'm like, you won't eat a mushroom? You won't even try it? But you would love to be literally swallowed by a giant lady. I don't think so. If you can't handle eating an enoki mushroom, I don't think you can handle being swallowed by a 90-foot tall Japanese woman, okay? I don't think you got the stones for it. I think she's gonna want a man who eats something besides chicken nuggets and mac and cheese, because you are what you eat. She's gonna go for somebody who's not afraid to take some culinary risks. I won't eat vegetables, but I'll eat ass, no problem. Is actually crazy, because like, I mean, you should eat vegetables. That's where I'm leaving it. I'm not saying you shouldn't eat ass, by the way. I'm just saying that if you're like, ooh, vegetables are icky, but then you're also like, damn, baby girl, do it be shitting, then you should acknowledge that you hold two positions at the same time, which should create some cognitive dissonance for you. That should create some stress in your life, because you're not living by a coherent set of standards. As long as your girlfriend's eating some vegetables, that's okay. Well, I mean, if that's the only way that you can get like vegetable content is via some trickle-down economics like that, then okay, sure. But I mean, again, the other thing people say, like, why do you care? It's hard to I really don't. If I went out for dinner with you to a fancy restaurant and you ordered, you know, kids menu hot dog or something like that, we can still be friends. But there is also, and I know how this sounds like a bully's saying, like, I'm just bullying you to protect you. But I am also, like, the reason I care, I guess, is because I want you to know that not everybody on earth is as nice as I am. They may not be as judgmental as I am, but they will be, when they are judgmental, they'll be much ruder about it. I am judgmental to inoculate you from the judgment you will receive from the rest of society. Why so serious? Tsundere? Yes, it is tsundere. I learned that word from Xavier Renegade Angel. It's my favorite new show. It comes on right after Chicago Party Aunt. My favorite genre of television program, adults behaving badly. The only other reason I care is because it's really nice, and you're gonna spin the victim card on this, and that's fine. It's really nice to have, like, you know, two adults over for dinner and just ask them if they're allergic for something and then cook something that you like cooking, instead of having to ask, just so we know, does your boyfriend only eat mac and cheese and chicken nuggets? Hey, do you have any dietary restrictions? I was hoping to make some paella. We do a beautiful paella. I'd love to share it with you. Well, we don't have any food allergies, but Jared only eats chicken nuggets and mac and cheese. That's a problem. I mean, that I guess we'll be having chicken nuggets and mac and cheese then. Or alternatively, we'll have some paella and then we'll give Jared a special plate, maybe like one of those McDonald's ones with Hercules on it from the mid 1990s, and he can have some. I guess he can have some. I mean, I'm already used to making a meal for my wife and myself, and then, you know, like 5 nights a week I'll make a meal for my daughter as well. Sometimes she'll just eat what we're eating, but I do also want, having been a picky eater myself, I do also understand that sucks to hear, because it's very stressful to be a picky eater and be worried about what's going to be there for dinner, because you're like, I'm not sure if I can eat this. So, like, everybody's kind of like the victim in this situation. Your stomach, your rules. I also just think, you know, there's like a knock-on effect, right? Like, if you can only eat such a strict... And again, if you have a real dietary or like mental block on it, then so be it. But, you know, if you can only eat a subset of foods, you know, that's going to limit your ability to meet new people and to see new things, you know? And to travel, and maybe that stuff doesn't interest you, but I mean, my personal take is you're missing out a little bit if you feel like, you know, oh, I can like, never leave the United States of America because if I travel to, you know, Spain, I'm not sure where I'm going to get my chicken nuggets from or something like that. But maybe the comfort of the chicken nugget diet is worth more than the experience of something new. And I think there's some validity in that if you truly know yourself. No nuggets in all of Spain? I'm just saying you wouldn't know where to get them, man. And the irony right now, I'm really craving some chicken nuggets. Maybe for lunch today, I'll go out and get some chicken nuggets. Get them from McDonald's? I couldn't find them in McDonald's. They had nuggets, but they were called Polo Nuggets. I don't want Polo Nuggets. I want some damn chicken McNuggets. Like, I remember when I went to Korea, when I was doing teacher training, keep in mind, I was like 22 at the time. I was doing teacher training with a guy who was in his 30s. When we went out for lunch one day, we were like, what do you like to eat? And he was like, oh, I'm like a really picky eater. I don't like spicy food, and I don't really eat many vegetables. And I was like, you are fucked. You should have done some research on the country before you chose to come here. Because you're in for like a long year, my man. Korean food is, I mean, it's not that vegetable rich necessarily, but it's like most Korean dishes are spicy. And especially, well, maybe not most, but a lot of them are. And especially if you don't speak the language, like you're gonna be struggling, man. Until you find, you know, the existence of something called like sullamtong, which as an English-speaking only foreign resident of Korea, it could take you like 10 years to figure out that the food even exists.